You will make it through. The fitra is awake in you. With Quran and Sunnah by your side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. You will make it through. The fitra is awake in you. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through.
Ina alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulallah. I want to welcome everybody to our class of diluting wala wa bara. I want to first of all apologize for not being here for the other class. I have to admit I fell asleep. I thought I would wake up at 1, but I guess Allah said, nope, you're going to sleep until 3. So I didn't wake up until 3 o'clock, and I'm sorry. Then when I woke up, I missed the class. So I apologize to all my kids and also to the new shahadas for that, but that's okay. I'll make it up to you next week, inshallah. We'll make sure that I, at least the PowerPoint's done and stuff. So I'll be more prepared next week. But alhamdulillah, I want to remind everybody that we have 2 more classes tonight too. This class, and also Mukhtar will be doing the life of the Prophet Muhammad. And I hope the children are here for both my class, this class now, and also Brother Mukhtar's class after this. And then later tonight, we'll at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be completing the book written by Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atli entitled forbidden imitations. And we'll complete that chapter on imitating animals. So for now, let's dive right into this class right here. Alhamdulillah, we'll be covering pages 239 through 241 of this wonderful masterpiece written by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. And I like how for this chapter, he's addressing the challenges that we come upon on the internet. The internet is a great way of allowing us Muslims to connect with each other around the world. Especially, it's great for us women. Why do I emphasize women? Because for the Muslim woman, our reward is not at the masjid. Our reward is in the home. We, as Muslim women, we need to attach to a good masjid. Why? Because your husbands and your sons, that's where their reward lies. And also as a Muslim woman, if you need help, advice, with your family matters, with the children, you having problems with your husband, you need a good Islamic community that consists of having a great imam who can offer, his services to help you and your husband with any marital problems you may have, and also to help you with any problems you may have with your sons. Okay? And also that Islamic community. If it's a good Islamic community, it would have Muslim counselors available. This is a big problem, living in a non-Islamic environment, living in a non-faith-filled environment such as America. We have a great apostasy rate with our children. So you want to make sure as a Muslim woman that you are close to an Islamic community that also has not only a good imam who can counsel you in regards to your marital issues, but also they have on board qualified, bona fide, certified Islamic counselors that can help you. There's a lot of Muslim women who went to school and got degrees in psychology. Psychology ain't nothing we can do anything with in America. It's a degree that don't carry nothing. You know, you can work for the government, basically. But one thing about those psychology degrees, they'll come in handy when counseling other women in the community in regards to helping them with their children and stuff. So you want whatever Islamic community that you live in to be a community that also has counselors on board, therapists on board, and people like that who can help you get to counsel your children and that type of thing. Okay, and most communities that I know of do have that nowadays. Yeah, most of the communities I know of do have counselors available. Be careful thinking that you can have a man counsel your daughter. That ain't gonna happen. We got a problem that happened down there in Texas, you know, with some imam counseling girls end up turning into some filthy stuff. So you don't have no man counsel your daughters. It's got to be a female counselor. And with your boys, it should be a male counselor. Men with men, women with women when it comes to that type of stuff. None of that mixing. Because whenever you mix the sexes, it leads to the sexes. Hello! We don't need the sexes to be happening. All right. So, and also for the single Muslim women, it's important to attach yourself to a good Islamic community because you're going to need a good Islamic community to bury you should you die. You want to have a good Islamic community that's going to check on you. Every good Islamic community should have a welfare committee. And it should be the responsibility of that welfare committee to check on the single women in their community to see if they're okay or need help. Or, you know, also that imam will be the one that will be a guardian over you in case of marriage if you don't have any Muslim relatives. Most of us got Muslim relatives nowadays, but the new converts don't, many of them. So they're going to need to attach to an Islamic community that has not only a good imam, not only a good counselor team, you know, but also make yourself known. Introduce yourself to the welfare committee. So the welfare committee can check on you because you old and by yourself. And also the imam can be available to know that, you know, you're single. So in case any brothers come around is looking for an elderly wife, he can help be of assistance to you. So the Islamic community is everything because that's the only way that we can maintain our Muslim identity living in a non-Islamic world. And then for you sisters, you don't have to go to the mosque, you know, for Juma, none of that. Your reward is at home. Thanks to the internet, you can log in on Sunnahfollowers.net and hang out in the Zoom room with women from around the world and kick it with the women here. Talk about women issues, women's problems, and all of that. And then you can log in for my classes to learn your religion in its truthfulness with the understanding of the companions, you know, from a woman like yourself. Because who better to help a woman or teach a woman other than a woman? Sorry, brothers. I do a better job than y'all. All right? That's the truth. All right, so, you know, thanks to the internet, thanks to Allah giving us knowledge of technology, we're able to do that. But it comes with problems. There's good in everything, and there's also bad in everything. The internet can become a very, very destructive device too. We talked about how one of the problems with the internet is you will come upon a bunch of people who call themselves Muslims, like many of you are doing now, Oh yeah, I can tell what y'all doing. A lot of you that log in and listen to me, by the way, it lets me know what else y'all are watching. A lot of y'all are following and joining other talk programs put on by other Muslim people. Some of them are famous, some of them are not so famous, but all of them that y'all listening to are Mu'tazilite. I mean, to tell y'all, every single one is Mu'tazilite. You got a lot of them in the UK that y'all listening to that's Kharijite. Hello! Y'all better be careful. The internet can be a horrific instrument of destruction. It can be used to take you away from La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, and put you on a path other than what the Prophet Muhammad came with, which is what many of you are doing. I can see where y'all watching. None of them people y'all watching are about anything. Nothing. Nada. All right. So today we're going to address another issue. Not just do we have to be careful and selective of who and what we listen to, but we also have to be aware of another danger that this internet carries, which is known as pornography. This is how we're losing our children. We're losing our children to the life of this world, to boyfriends, girlfriends. We're even losing our wives. A lot of the women are falling in love on these websites, with these illicit men. And a lot of the men are doing the same thing with women, porno, sex sales. Sex sales. I don't care how watered down it is. It sells. And that's what we're going to talk about, because a lot of us end up developing porno addictions. In fact, I'm not going to call out the names, but I have some of my youth here on Twitch. Let me type here. I want to give a shout out to all my followers on Twitch. Alhamdulillah, I got a lot of young Muslim brothers who follow me on Twitch. About how many? 64? That's a lot, 64. And one of the problems that many of them email me about, I'm talking about the ones that's in their early 20s. Some of the young brothers who are in their early 20s email me about their porno addictions and how they can get over that, because Twitch, all those gaming sites, they got those porno rooms too. So alhamdulillah, this chapter of the book addresses that. So let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen, and I'm going to share with you brothers, which I already shared with some of you already, what to do about it. But we're going to go over again. I'm going to share with you brothers how to overcome things you can do to help overcome this addiction to porno. And this is for the women too, because believe it or not, there's a lot of women addicted to porno too. Again, this is why we're losing our children. Many of our children end up apostating from Islam, because of this crap. Y'all know that famous non-Muslim speaker, what's her name? Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish did an interview, and she talked about how from the age of 10 years old, from the age of 10 years old until she turned or got famous and when she was 20 or 19, she had a terrible porno addiction. And she said it's because her parents left her at home with the internet. And she talked about the dangers, how she got sucked up into porno and all that on the internet. And how even to this day, she still, has to fight against that desire to get into that. The kids get into sex. The kids get into it from the internet. So we're going to speak about that today. So let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Let me share it with you guys. Hold on. This button here. Yeah, I had to put it up on that. Here we go. There we go. Let me make it larger for them. Okay, there it is. And y'all know every time I screen share, this Zoom room gets in my way. Move the Zoom out the way. Yeah, that Zoom thing gets right in the way. Okay, so tonight what we're going to do is cover pages 239 to 241. And we're going to address how to overcome online pornography, this addiction that so many Muslims and non-Muslims suffer with. Okay? Okay. The accessibility of explicit content, usually pornography. This presents a great challenge for Muslims who are navigating through the internet. And exposure to this type of material can lead to addiction. It can also lead to harmful behaviors. It can also desensitize you to the modesty and chastity values that we try to uphold in Islam. This is why your daughters, they feel comfortable not wearing a hijab. As a Muslim girl, you shouldn't feel comfortable not having a hijab on. You shouldn't feel comfortable wearing tight blue jeans. You shouldn't feel comfortable dressed like some of these Muslim sisters. I was looking at a very popular Muslim woman here in America. She's a counselor. She's very attractive. I love the way she wears her hijab. But one thing about her, she does not dress properly. She wears abayas that show her breasts. Her abayas are tight fitting. And she got some breast on her, man. Okay? You know, she shouldn't feel comfortable dressed like that. You're a Muslim woman and you call yourself a daya. And you should not feel comfortable, you know, standing up posing on a magazine cover, you know, with a tight-fitting abaya on that shows how big your breasts are and how big your behind is in the back. You know, this is what the internet does to us. It desensitizes us from being modest. Okay, so, you know, this is something that we have to address as Muslims. So a lot of people say, well, Sister Laila, how can we combat this challenge? Well, when it comes to pornography, you have to confront it head on. And the only way to overcome this challenge means you have to take an approach that addresses the behavior aspects of it. You have to make sure that the behavior aspects of it are aligned with Islamic principles. First of all, Islam teaches us to lower our gaze. So you shouldn't be looking at pictures of women who are not dressed properly. You shouldn't be looking at pictures of men who are not dressed properly. This contradicts our Islamic morals. You shouldn't go to websites that put pictures of women and men from around the world up on the screen. You know, recognize what triggers this behavior from you and stay away from it. You have to navigate away from those type of websites. And again, you have to work on developing your allegiance to Allah, your allegiance to the Prophet, your allegiance to this religion. Ask yourselves, what would the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam say to you if he were living today and knew that you were browsing chat rooms that had naked women in them? Or you were browsing information on the internet that showed the private areas of other women and men. So we have to strengthen our connection to Allah, strengthen our connection to the Prophet, and strengthen our connections to the values of Islam. And to do that, that means you're going to have to tighten up on your prayers, making your prayers every day. You're going to have to read more Quran. Read the hadiths that address the foulness of this type of behavior. Listen to the lectures that different daya put out about the foulness of this behavior. This will help you to develop a strong Muslim identity that will cause you to push away from those type of websites. If you're going to go on Twitch to play a game, you play a game. You're not going on Twitch to look at some naked woman play a game. Okay? And also you have to seek knowledge and awareness of this addiction. Educate yourself about the detrimental effects of pornography. Educate yourself about how it destroys your spiritual well-being. When you read the story, when I was, I'm not into these kafir celebrities, but when I watched the interview that Billie Eilish gave about her addiction to porno at the age of 10, how she was exposed to sex on the internet to the point where, sex is nothing to her. She could never have a relationship with anyone. Think about that. You're a Muslim, you go to get married, and then all of a sudden, what should have been something of excitement for you and your wife is nothing. It's a woman doesn't appeal to you now. Sex is not important now because you've done all that on the internet. When you listen to other people's struggles with pornography and the effect it had on them, that can also serve as a means of pushing you away from that. Remember, we disassociate from that which will take us away from Allah, away from this religion. And stop listening to Muslim women and men, who claim to be about this and that, but you look at them and they're not even dressed properly. Like I was saying, there's one sister that's pretty popular here in America. Very attractive, but she's not dressed ever properly. Nothing she wears, everything she wears is got to be tight where you can see them boobs. I don't care how long of a khimar you put on. I don't care how baggy an abaya you wear. If you got that drawstring pulling it in like you sisters are wearing, showing your breasts, or you posing in front of a camera and you got your hands tied on your waist to show how you look, you sisters, that's not modesty. That's not chastity. That's just another form of prostitution. You sisters are just making public spectacles of yourself. It's another form of prostitution. Don't take women like that as your mentor. Don't take women like that as your role model. Because these women are only seducing you to be like them, to dress like them. Yeah, I got the cool hijab on, but look at my abaya. It ain't legal. It's not lawful. It's long, but it's got the waistband in it. It's got a belt on it. You can see my breasts. You can see my hips. You can see my shape. Stop taking these people as role models because all they're doing is calling you to porno. They're calling you away from chastity. They're calling you away from that. Okay? And again, we have to have a support system. Creating a support network of friends, family, and others is vital. That's why I was saying a good Islamic community. A lot of people always ask me what would I recommend. There's no Islamic utopia nowhere on this earth. I cannot recommend nothing to you as far as where to go as a community. You have to reach out on your own. But one of the things to look for is, does this Islamic community have a support group? Do they have Muslim counselors that my children can talk to who are of the same sex as they are, the same gender as they are? Like I said, you don't want your girls seeking counseling from no dude because that's going to lead to hanky-panky stanky. And we got too much of that going on, especially down there in Texas. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to keep it real. Okay? So does this community have a good support system? And also implement technology restrictions too. You know what triggers these desires in you. So install website blockers, install filtering software. And if you a parent, put parental controls. My daughter did that for my little grandsons. I got 2 little grandsons. You know, she's got parental controls on everything to keep them off of sex sites, because they like to game too. They lose Twitch too. They like to go to Twitch and game. But she put the parental stuff on so they can't get to the wrong rooms and stuff. Again, better. My allegiance is to Allah, to his prophet, to this religion, and everything that Allah said is good and clean about it. And my disassociation is against anything that compromises anything that stands between my religion. Everything in my religion is good and clean. But the things that Allah made a haram and unlawful are bad and dirty. So I'm going to distance myself from it, online and offline. And again, replace your bad habits with positive activities. Instead of spending so much time gaming, why don't you do some physical exercise? Go outside and ride a bike. Go play football to help take that addiction away. Participate in community service instead of sitting up on the internet all day. We're going to different chat rooms. And also develop coping strategies. Develop healthy ways of dealing with your stress, your anxiety, or negative emotions. And again, this is where that counseling comes in. Muslim counseling from people in your community who have expertise in helping you to deal with this. Again, professional help is everything. But I want you guys to understand, a non-Muslim can never be a therapist for a Muslim because their lifestyle is not like us. The professional help has to come from a Muslim counselor, a Muslim therapist, or an addiction specialist who is Muslim, because the Muslims will put better in their therapy. And again, that therapist must be the same gender as you. If you're a woman, it has to be a woman therapist. If you're a male therapist. And while you're seeking this professional help, remember, Allah is the best of all therapists. Take it to the prayer rug to him. Realize that nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. Having an addiction is no exception. So turn to Allah. Make dua asking him to keep you away from that environment. Ask him to forgive you for being weak to that environment. And cling on to whatever professional help you're getting, and surround yourself with like-minded, strong Muslims who are not succumbing to that type of stuff. And also another thing we can do as a community is have group sessions. Muslim families, we can meet once a month at the mosque to discuss how to promote digital literacy. In other words, we should meet once a month as Muslim families to discuss things that we can do to help our children to be able to utilize the internet in a positive way. Things we can do to prevent our children from engaging in harmful websites and harmful influences. And this is something that I encourage every Muslim community to have once a week, to promote digital literacy and parental guidance and how to navigate through the internet with each other and our children and other families. So I really like how Kareem Abu Zaid put this together in the book, because again, he's an imam too, and as well as a daya like myself, he's also an imam. So he's encountered this in his community. A lot of brothers have come to him, complaining to him of their porno addictions. Just like I get a lot of brothers and sisters that come to me, and children complaining of their porno addictions. So he was able to write this chapter of his book from his own experience, because it's something that he's been dealing with since the digital era became popular in the 2000s. So I'm going to stop right here. Subhana kalahuma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? Yeah, exactly. Like I tell you guys, most of these Islamic communities do have counselors and stuff now, because they got women. It's one of the signs of the last hour. One of the signs of the last hour is the mosques will become empty of men and filled with women. You got all these crazy women now trying to be scholars, but they can't be a scholar because they don't know the religion of Islam. So they go to school and get PhDs in psychology, but it's a good thing, because they can use that psychology, to help other people, other women with their kids with problems like this. All right.
And yeah, that's good too, because many times, especially with children, they find it difficult to talk to their parents about something serious as porno or any form of sexual, things that go on with children and adults. And so it would be better if they did have a masjid that's set up where they could have boys could go to brothers who are, could talk to them and help them in some kind of way. And the same thing with girls. Girls don't know who to go to. They don't want to go to, many times I've seen it where they didn't want to go to their parents. They felt embarrassed or shameful about going to their parents to talk about porno or anything similar. And so, it'd be good for them for the masjid to have it set up like that, where they can,
that's why I was saying for the people, a lot of people will come to me and ask me about, do I know? No, there's no Islamic utopia anywhere on this planet, not even in Mecca. But when you are looking for an Islamic community, certain things to look for. Number one, who is the imam? That's important, because imam is supposed to be the ruler of that community. Okay, is he an imam that's upon Siratul Mustaqim? Does he advocate the Quran and the Hadiths, or does he advocate a madhab? Does he advocate Sufism or something? So the first thing you look up is the community imam. Who is he? Google him. What is written about him? And then you look to see, does this Islamic center have counseling services available? Most of them do nowadays. What type of counseling services? And they usually have an executive board. And so you see, do they have counseling services that can counsel my girls? Are there women that can counsel my daughters? Men that can counsel my sons? And then you look up to see, do they have a health and welfare committee? Every good Islamic community should not only have counseling services, but they should have a health and welfare committee. It's the job of the health and welfare committee to check on the people in the community to see if everybody is okay. Okay? And also, not only should they have a health and welfare committee, but they should also have a new Shahada committee too. So these are 4 things you want to assure. Whatever mosque you looking for, assure that they got those 4 things. A good imam who's upon Siratul Mustaqim, okay, who's not upon a mathab, or who's not a fanatical Kharijite or a fanatical Mutazilite, okay? Health and welfare committee, counseling services. Those are the things you got to look for. Y'all write that stuff down. Okay. All right, I'm going to log out for right now, but I will be back in about 10 minutes, in 5 minutes, because we have Brother Mukhtar's class. Mukhtar will be here teaching. He will be here teaching the Seerah, the story of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, exactly at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we have my 9 o'clock class. I am going to wrap up the book on forbidden imitations. Okay. Any other comments in the Zoom room?
No.
Okay, hold on for 1 second. Hold on. I hope I don't freeze up. Am I frozen? Let me know if I freeze up on YouTube. Somebody let me know if I do, because I'm getting ready to.
Yeah, you froze.
Okay, I knew I would. Hold on. Let me fix that, because I don't want to be looking crazy on YouTube. Because every time I open up another thing, but I have to, it does that. Hold on. Okay. Okay, hold on. Every time I do this. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Any other questions or comments? I'm going to log out for right now, but inshallah, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika.